Hey everybody, it's Chris Ward. Welcome to another episode of The Eagle Reality Career Talk, coming to you live from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. My name is Chris Ward. I'm the broker in charge and owner of Eagle Realty in North Myrtle Beach. And this podcast series, let me back this up. This podcast episode is a very tactical, if I can say the word, tactical episode for your real estate career. This is predominantly for realtors. This could apply in some stretch of the imagination, depending on how creative you are with your marketing skills. This could apply to other industries, especially related industries, insurance, mortgage lending, home inspectors, appraisers, those kind of things might be able to glean a lot from this. There might be elements that apply to products, other industries that are product driven, especially if you're trying to target a certain geographical area, because today's topic and today's podcast are kind of realtor growth and hack series that we've been talking about, and that this podcast is really primarily for both the macro and the micro. This is definitely more of a micro topic. This is more tactical. This is more day-to-day for your real estate business, how you're growing it, what you're doing in your real estate business. This is an element that I still teach to realtors, even though it's probably old school. Like in its essence, it's old school, but kind of everything's old school on some level. It depends how you implement it, and the how and the strategy and the tools and resources that you use that makes it new school, or that makes it very relevant and still effective. Lots of techniques in marketing and real estate can be effective if you do them right, if you do them consistently, if you persevere and have patience with them, and you're putting the right dollar amount where the ROI is. Like if you're actually keeping track of the numbers, doing metrics, like you've heard in other podcasts that I've done. If you're actually tracking it and you see that it's working, well, then it's working. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But this particular thing, this particular strategy, you can't just try it for 30 days. You can't just try it for 90 days and go, oh, it didn't work. It's just not built that way, and it's called farming. Any of you that have been in the real estate industry for a number of years know what farming is. Those of you that do it, it is called farming for a reason, is it not? If you do farm an area, a neighborhood, a geographic area of your local real estate territory, then you know that farming is a very appropriate name, because there is a lot of cultivating and patience and time and nurturing that goes into getting results and getting production from a farm area or territory. So let me say this first. If you've never heard of farming, well, hopefully, and talking to the 20 to 30 year olds out there, farming is something how people grow food back in the day. I'm just joking. Farming is working a piece of land to produce a crop. Okay, same concept. When you choose to farm in your real estate career, here's what you're trying to do. You are picking a neighborhood, subdivision, geographical area, maybe a zip code or anything like that, and you are, excuse me, I got kind of a cold here, kind of allergies. You are trying to gain business through branding, exposure, and becoming the local expert for that segment of your marketplace. Whether it's a subdivision, which I kind of lean towards subdivision neighborhood farming, because I think you can have very local micro pockets of real estate activity and statistics that fit a neighborhood where there's similar homes, similar comps going on, versus like a zip code, a city or town. If you try, those are just too big of areas. It's hard to get quality out of that large of quantity of an area. So I like to pick smaller subdivisions, neighborhoods, and create farm territories, farm strategy around those. I've just seen better results. Plus, also, obviously, budget-wise, the more you can micro down on a certain segment of homes, whether it's 250 homes, 200 homes, to 500 homes, you can really, really play with your budget and maximize it month to month when you create a strategy. My first suggestion when talking about farming is you are going no less than 1 year. In fact, honestly, if you're going to farm an area, I would hope you're thinking of a 3 to 5 year strategy at the least. But let's start with 12 months. I think you'll always look at it in 12-month segments, realizing that you need to do it for multiple years for it to yield results. I think you should go find a farmer and talk to them about how land is cultivated to yield the maximum results, and I guarantee it's not going to be just for one crop season, one harvest. You have to look at this as a long-term. Farming as a long-term strategy to build not only brand awareness for you and your business and your real estate business, but to also glean results and become the local go-to real estate agent in that neighborhood, in that area. It is so hard to do, especially in the day and age of bigger competition as far as just your peers in the real estate industry, other people that are in real estate, and as far as everybody kind of knows a realtor. At least I'm speaking very, very locally to Myrtle Beach, maybe not in your area of the country or of the world, but if you get that feeling where, okay, there's not only am I trying to farm this neighborhood, this community, I don't really live there, and I know 5 or 6 of my colleagues do from different companies, they might have an advantage, but hey, not everybody's going to actually take the initiative and execute. You can beat everybody out by executing. If you live in a neighborhood, which I'm sure you probably do, you live in some neighborhood, you should definitely be farming your neighborhood at the very least of where you live. At least you have a foot in the door of where you live. So tip number 1, if you live somewhere, farm that area, farm that neighborhood, farm that community. If you're going to pick a neighborhood to farm, make sure it's somewhere where you can brand, where you can have exposure as far as drive through and get to know, maybe where you already kind of have a foot in the door, somebody, maybe somewhere where you've already sold or listed a property. You just need a little bit of that foot in the door, I think, to start in a farming area. I think that's good. You can pick randomly, just a neighborhood you like, or based on price point or whatever, or a niche or something that you think will work well. But my best advice getting started in farming, farm your neighborhood that you live in currently, and or someplace where you've had recent sales success or listing success. 2, farming, again, 12-month strategy. When you look at your farm strategy for the year, you need to have it planned out from day 1 all the way 365 days out. What are you doing? Month to month, quarter to quarter. What is your strategy? We're going to look at this as the whole. I'm going to give you suggestions. This is not, 5-step plan to maximize your farming results via Chris Ward. I'm not giving you a plan for success. I'm not giving you the end all of end alls for farming strategy that I think mine's the only way. In fact, I think your farming should evolve based on your results. I think you should, and I think I've seen, this is proven stuff that has worked for me. It may not work for you, or it may be very area dependent. It also may just be personality dependent on what works for it. Not everybody can market and sell the same way. There's not just one sales type of person. There's not just one salesperson personality, because there's different people in the world. So you need to realize that, first off. Second of all, when you go into farming, or you go into any marketing strategy, you need to be able to adjust. You need to not be afraid of change, and you need to be able to read cultural dictations into what works and what doesn't work, what is working and what's not working, what new resources are available for you to implement that might better your strategy. You have to be aware of this and be able to ebb and flow to increase ROI, to increase production, to just make your strategy that much better. So take all that into account when I talk to you about some of these things that I suggest for farming. So I'm going to give you a very basic layout of farming. 1, every month you should be sending some kind of mail piece. So you can start taking notes now. Every month, some kind of mail piece. whether that's a jumbo-sized postcard, whether that's a letter in an envelope, whether that's a regular postcard, tips and tricks, best summer recipes of 2017, whether that is a market report for the quarter, for that neighborhood specifically. Whatever your print is, you want to do it consistently month in, month out. You should mail your farm every single month a letter of snail mail print piece to them. Should vary. Probably going to be a mix of probably four to six postcards, maybe 4 market reports, and maybe 2 letters from you. You need to kind of have that mix. Everything should be very simple but very branded and similar, so that they see you're consistent. So many realtors start out mailing an area for 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe they make it 12 months, and then they just quit. I'll tell you one story. Everybody has a story like this, I think, that's been in the business for any number of years. I farmed the first condo complex I ever bought a place in, and I farmed the 2 buildings for 2 years before I moved. Then I moved away. I was gone 2 years, and I had 4 years after I had mailed this piece, somebody had called me to list their condo, and they showed me the letter that they had kept from one of my mailings. Now, I'm not even going to tell you that I was good at mailing every single month, because I wasn't. I didn't even do it that consistently. People will remember, people will see consistency, and you never know when it's going to hit, when they're going to come back to you. That person actually ended up doing 2 transactions with me. So you have to be consistent and imagine how much more your business could grow if you are consistent long term, and they say, hey, this guy isn't a fly-by-night operation. This isn't somebody that's just tried the real estate thing, quote unquote, thing out for a while and it didn't work out. This is somebody who is an expert in their industry and is a full-time real estate agent. Number 2, you need to create a community or neighborhood website. And this website needs to be the landing page. It's included on all your material, whether it's email, print, social media posts, whatever, as the hub of information for the neighborhood or community. You need to, swipe up the domain name that is basically the community name or as close to it as you can get. And this needs to be on every marketing piece that you put out, to get people to start moving there, so that they can see current homes on the market, whether it's your listing or not, link to the MLS, go ahead and set it up. This is just a 1-page landing page where they can contact you for a free CMA of their property, where they can find community events or more about the community, where you have done maybe some video tours of the community to welcome anybody looking to possibly purchase in there. Whatever kind of information that you think is the best to put on a website, that somebody who lives and or is thinking of living there, that you can put together, you have to have it. That has to be yours. You have to have that, and that has to be dynamic, as in you need to update it. You could even start a blog. You can do a lot of things with that 1-page landing page for the community. Next, I think you really need to, besides once a month mailing, besides your community website, you also need to be running ads geographically on Facebook, gaining exposure, and branding yourself to connect with people that live in that geographic area. These can be very simple branding ads, or search the MLS, or check out my listings in your local area, and make the ad scream local, targeted, that they're seeing it because they live in this particular area or this particular community. You can do that. There's very hyper-focused targeting on Facebook that you can use for that. Next, you need to be seen in the community. Driving around, if you have a branded car or whatever, driving around, walking around at the pool, at the amenities, meeting people when you can, and really have a presence, a literal, physical presence in the community as much as possible. You would be surprised how many people will stop you if you slow drive through a neighborhood and that they're out in their yard just to talk to you if they've seen you drive by once a week for 4 weeks. They're probably going to stop and say, "What's going? Hey, how are you doing?" You know, you have to have a presence there, and that's going to get you, again, your foot in the door, your face recognition, just checking out the neighborhood. Join the community, the neighborhood watch. Do whatever you need to do to brand your face, your presence in the neighborhood, and then you can become the expert locally. Lastly, my last little strategy thing: anytime there's a new listing, even by another company, anytime there is a sold, even by another company, you need to be sending out postcards: just listed, just sold, just wanted to let you know this company listed this home over here, you know, just to keep you updated on the market. Hey, this sold just happened in the neighborhood. Let's welcome our new neighbors to what such and such address. You need to be proactive, even if it's not your business or not your listing or your sale, that you still are in the know. You are still the community resource of information, all things real estate. That's you, and get that out there. Again, this is long-term cultivation, long-term patience, long-term presence. Farming is a very integral part of your real estate marketing strategy to gain you business in the long term of your business, and you will be surprised if you can stay consistent more than the other agents, if you can stay persistent more than the other agents, and you can execute over the long haul, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, you will become the go-to agent in that area. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Make sure you stay tuned. Subscribe on iTunes, The Eagle Reality Career Talk in North Myrtle Beach. Go to our YouTube channel /Eagle Realty 1. Check us out all over social media at Eagle Realty SC. And you can get my personal Facebook page at Chris Ward Bick. That's BIC, Chris Ward BIC. I will talk to you next time.